Hello, everybody. This is Sade, sincerely period Sade on Instagram. I am their host of A Sweet Place, and I am here with the Creative Mindset.
Back with another episode of the Creative Mindset. Today we have a very special guest. I know last episode I said that I keep saying every guest is special because every guest is special to me, for sure, for sure. And a very exciting guest as well. Different background again. I told y'all at the end of last episode that I was going to tell you where we was at, and I lied because I wanted you to see the other room. So with me today, I want to introduce to you the host of A Sweet Place. And this really is a sweet place, a great place, a whole vibe. At the Creative Mindset, please welcome Sade. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me. I'm trying to get over my nerves, but that's why we're here. So thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Of course.
What's real dope about this spot is it's a vibe. You can host events here. I'll let Sade tell you about the specifics of those events and what you can and can't do here, as well as the capacity and the limits. So just before we jump into talking about some of the things, because the Creative Mindset, we like to get transparent here. Tell people about the Sweet Place. I like to normally start this at the end, but this is the official home of the Creative Mindset. So tell people about the Sweet Place.
So A Sweet Place is a year old as of March. Thank you. I began this journey just as, I would say, a multi-dimensional, multifaceted creator. I love all different areas of creativity, and I wanted my own space to assist other creators, honestly, because I know how hard it is to start. I know how hard it is to find a location that's affordable or, that has at least the minimal of the things that you're going to be looking for. So I basically created it as just like a starting people for other creators in the city. So, and further along, more people who just have events that they want to do. So that's how A Sweet Place started, and I'm loving it. I'm loving like redoing the place. As you can see in the second room, we're going to be redoing this one as well, which I'm excited about. So it's very versatile, multi-use space. So you can play with the furniture, you can move things around. I don't mind. It's meant for you to be creative. It's meant for you to feel like you're at home as well. So a lot of thought went into like the decor. I just wanted you to feel like it's an easier place for you to create just because you feel like you're in your own living room or your own dining room or something like that. So that's how A Sweet Place started.
Appreciate you for sharing that.
Of course.
Most interviews we've waited to the end, but I figure that it was very important to get that out right now, especially with you being the guest of today, the guest of the hour. So what I want to talk about, what I want to bring up is your creative journey. One of the main important reasons why I wanted you to sit down with us at the Creative Mindset is because hearing about your creative journey, basically I can't box you in. And I identify with that.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I identify with that is because understanding jack of all trades, master of none. But you got to master something,
right?
at
True.
least one,
Yes.
But they say you're a master when you got 10,000 plus hours into
Mm-hmm.
something. And I'm pretty sure you have 10,000 plus hours in something. So share with us a little bit about your creative journey, because to me, especially when you started out when you was a kid and talking about your instruments, I thought that was real unique, especially that type of instrument.
Yes.
I'm giving too much away. Tell us about the journey.
Okay, so yes, again, my creative journey started when I was a kid. I would say it started when I was in maybe the third or fourth grade. I always excelled in school academically. Like I just always looked at academics like a challenge. Like I look at anything else, I have to be the best at it. I have to actually learn it and master it. So that's why I just loved school. But I actually got accepted into this program to learn how to play the violin just from my grades being good, honestly. So it was just me and one other lady who got the chance and opportunity to actually learn. And we learned really well. We did like performances and things like that. So that was really fun picking up her instrument. Further along, I would say maybe fifth grade, I actually like joined the band. So there I kind of played like the trombone, which was way bigger than I was at the time. So I moved from that to playing the clarinet, which was good because, you know, like in our day growing up in the 90s, early 2000s, the flute was a big thing. Everybody was on their flute playing one song. But I took it a little step further and played the clarinet. So that was fun. So I always kind of been like active, and then just moving on to college where I was in drama, National Honor Society, the dance team, cheerleading. And then I met one of my teachers who was actually also a designer who actually recruited me to be in one of his fashion shows. So that just started my love for fashion and design and clothes. So that's what I went to school for. I graduated from Kent State University with a fashion merchandising and marketing degree. So that's where a lot of, you know, visual merchandising, presentation, I guess you could say interior design, decor, that's where all that stems from because, you know, as a merchandiser, you think about things visually. So how everything looks from when a customer walks in to what the place smells like, what they're actually viewing, and then what they're viewing, what their thought process will be behind that as well. So, and then like my grandmother, again, she also did a lot of interior design. So I think a lot of things that I do gotta kind of go like hand in hand. And then not to mention like me being in like elementary school, I did a lot of art and drawing, went to competitions for that as well. So yeah, I just like doing stuff. So yeah.
Sounds like a whole bunch of stuff. I appreciate you
Yeah.
for sharing that journey. Yeah, that's a very unique journey from being an instrumentalist to now. I can't even call it interior decor, but the decor in here is crazy. It's so crazy. I want to show y'all the rest of the room, but she said I can't show you yet until we get the accent
Eventually.
wall done. But
Eventually.
if you book your event here, we for sure will let you see the space. Well,
Absolutely.
not we, because I ain't gonna be here, but she gonna let you see the space.
Absolutely.
So I seen most recently you were a part of the Ilthy yearbook. Artists Run the Streets.
Yes.
Tell us
That
about that.
I honestly didn't even know that that was going to be as big as it was. I honestly seen the event posted on Instagram, and I've been making it a point to get out more in the city, especially just going to very like creative and like artistic gatherings or outings, just because I love that type of environment and atmosphere, and I'm really like finding my place amongst creators and all of those people in like the city. So it just really looked like a really dope thing to go to. Once I got there, it was an amazing event. Oh, not to mention, one of my best friends, Felicia, shout out to her. Her cousin Krista was actually featured. Krista Freehands. Her art was actually featured during that event. So, you know, got to see her art. Another lady who I went to school with, Lacey Talley. So shout out to both of them. She was also featured as well. So it was just good to like see their art, see their work. And, you know, it was a long line for like that photo. I did not know what it was for. But then when it came to me, like they asked like for different information, what I really thought was super cool because it's honestly a way for you to, it's like a phone book, honestly. So if you're looking for like a different type of creator, like if you're looking for an artist or a designer, like you can literally look at that whole lineup of that yearbook and just see who does what in the city. So I'm just honored to even be a part of it and amongst other really dope creators in the city. So that was a surprise to me, but thank you, Ilthy.
Shout out to you. Shout out to you for that good looking Ilthy. I'm gonna try and make sure I get in the next yearbook, 26, maybe, hopefully. But again, at the Creative Mindset, we like to talk about mental health. So during your, I feel like I watched, like social media make you feel closer to people, than
Absolutely.
you really are just by watching their journey. And again, you just said this is Sweet Place is 1 year old. What was it like going through the process before you did your grand opening?
It was a lot, honestly. Like, I actually started looking for spaces, maybe 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, just looking all over the city, seeing what was the best fit for me, because I knew this is what I wanted to do. I knew this was what I wanted to do, so I had to do it. It was just about finding the right location. So when I actually found this place, it just seemed like it felt in my lap, like at the right time, and at the right place. Like the leasing manager and the property manager, they were super nice. They were super like just willing to work with me. So the process leading up to it was very strenuous, I would say, but it was worth it. Like, I loved actually looking through all of like the different spaces that Cleveland has to offer. Like, it just
Mm-hmm.
gave me an idea of like what I can do moving forward and where I want to go moving forward. Like, how big I want the space, in the future, what I want to do with it in the future. Like, this is just a starting point, honestly. It's just going to get bigger from here. Like, I definitely want like a really big space. So yeah.
It's a good start. I remember when you first got the spot, you posted keys. So I'm like, she a therapist? Because you posted that room and you posted the keys. Then I remember you like doing some unboxing of some stuff. Like, my furniture came, and I'm like, she gotta be a therapist. But then after I got the invite to the grand opening, which I didn't get to make it, I'm sorry. But
You're here now.
exactly. And I was like, oh, that's dope. So you got a spot where you can host events and stuff like that. And from, like I said, you feel like you know people just by reading in the words. Because sometimes, like, I ain't even gonna lie to you, when I'm still trying to learn about something, people put a lengthy caption, and I was like, I'm trying to learn about this space. So what is it and what does it mean? But I think you did your thing with this place because it meant a lot to you to share this. And that makes me want to go to the next thing. Off camera, you shared about a book that you wrote.
Yes. So I am also an author.
I didn't want to spoil that one for y'all because it took me by surprise as well.
Honestly, it'll take everybody by surprise, because I know we were having this conversation and it's not something like, yes, when I actually got it published, I announced it, but I didn't go further than that as far as like, promoting it and continuously talking about it. But we're here now, so we can talk about it.
So tell the audience, what's the name of this book?
So the name of the book is the Self-Discovery Journaling Workbook, and it's literally self-explanatory. It's a self-discovery journaling workbook. So it's a journal, but it's also a workbook. So there's a lot of activities, questions and answers, fillable boxes, a lot of stuff for you to actually think about, which is actually what I needed. So just a background like on the book. When I initially started to write the book, it didn't start off with me like, oh, I'm about to write a book. It really just started off with me just being going through depression, going through like other things in my life, and me knowing that I needed something to get me out of that. So I really was writing it for myself, honestly. I was writing it and I kind of like pulled myself out of my body to like, as a mirror, like, okay, well, what do you need help with? Like, what are you struggling with? Just asking myself those questions, and that kind of like helped me structure the book. come up with like the different sections that I talk about, which is things like self-care, foundations of self-love, celebrating your success, which I am still actually learning how to do. The next steps after you just get through the book. Self-discovery is never finished because we are people and we continuously grow. And as we grow, we change. So it's all about learning yourself and loving yourself. And because when you do those things, like you can fulfill anything or go after anything that you're going for, but it really starts with yourself.
So seeing that you conquered that bout of depression, is there anything, because of course I imagine you, well, not imagine, you just said you wrote the workbook to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that you go back and reflect on in moments? And what are some of those things that you reflect on within the workbook?
A lot of the self-care, because like during like the time that I was depressed, I really did not want to do anything. Like I went to work, came home, and that was it. Like I didn't want to hang out with friends. I didn't want to hang out with family. I didn't want to do nothing but do what I needed to do in life, which is work and pay my bills. But yeah, I had to like kind of pull myself out of that and start back taking care of myself because I had to realize that I was in depression, which is why I had to like remove myself and look at myself. I had to realize that I was actually in it for me to actually get up out of it, because some people will see that you're going through something, but they might not feel comfortable enough to say anything. So even though they want to say anything, they just don't. I don't know. They don't want to offend you or come across a certain type of way. So I could kind of tell people could tell that I was different. And I also just didn't like that. Like I didn't like where I was mentally. So I mean, I had to change it. So self-care is a big thing. And then again, like the celebrating success part. Like I know we was having a conversation about like imposter syndrome. Like I definitely suffer with that because I just don't feel like anything that I do, not that it's not worth like celebrating, but I just feel like it's something that I was supposed to do anyway. So so celebrating success is something that I always go back to as well because it's something I could for sure get better at.
So when you say you feel like it was something that you're supposed to do, or do you feel like you are more so passive about small wins and you just waiting on that big win?
No, because I think even with a big win, I feel like it wouldn't register to me that it's something big again, because I would feel like, oh, I was supposed to do this. I was supposed to achieve this. This is what I was supposed to give this world. And I mean, like you said, it could be pride. Well, again, we're working on that. That's why I always refer back to my book, because again, like it's a journey. You're never going to be done with the journey. You can always refer back and, just go back to different sections in the book that you are feeling like, hey, I need to reread this, or I need some motivation, or I need some self-reflection to go on. But yeah.
So how do you practice self-care? What are some of your tips that you have? Because that's important with mental health. And again, at the Creative Mindset, we like to talk about the W's, your creative process, but what are some ways that you can give to the people how you take care of yourself?
For me personally, it's self-care is definitely a per person thing. Like everybody is different. Everybody finds
Absolutely.
joy in something different. For me, again, I like fashion, so I like getting dressed up. I like going shopping. I like to make sure like I'm getting my feet done, nails done, hair done. That I'm just basically keeping up with myself. Also, too, now making sure that I get out more, at least do one thing that I like a month, whether that's going to a concert, going to dinner with friends, karaoke. I love karaoke. I can't sing though. I know my name's Sade, but karaoke, creating, in whatever aspect that may be. Like, I might just be, oh, let me go to my space today. I want to change this wall, or anything that's hands on or involves me like moving. So yeah.
I do a lot of research into people who I bring about. One of the newest things that I came across with just doing research and tuning in to some of the things that I like, reading these different books. And I'm curious. You're the first person we asked this at the Creative Mindset, but what are you most grateful for? Because a lot of success, you can find a lot of success within gratitude. So what are you most grateful for?
Growth. I'm most grateful for the ability to actually grow. Like, some people just don't learn from the things that happen in their life, or the things that they're growing through, or like their feelings. Like, I actually take the time to process, like, my feelings. Say something didn't go the way I wanted to go, I try to process what I was actually supposed to learn from it, because everything is a learning lesson, whether it's good or bad. So just growth and like my mindset, because I wouldn't say I'm able to withstand anything, but I can mentally get through it successfully. So I love growing, for sure.
So do you think, well, not do you think, could the audience expect a volume 2 of your workbook?
So that's the thing about this mind of mine. It is always going. So I have tons of notes in my phone about various different things that I want to do. So not really sure about a volume 2 or another version of the book, but I am in the process of writing another book that I would like to gear it towards men, which we can talk about that
Okay. All right.
another time once it's like further along, because I know you were recently telling me like you're a part of like some groups and stuff that's men and mental health based. So we can definitely talk
Men
about
in the den.
that.
Men in the
We
den.
can definitely talk about that further when I'm further along with the book. But yeah, I want to dedicate this one and gear this one towards men, actually. So working on that.
So I know we were talking about this accent wall that gotta go up in here. What are some other things that we could expect? Because again, we're celebrating the 1 year anniversary for A Sweet Place, and you created the space for creators to create. And I hate to backpedal, but did you have an ideal person when this place was that inspired this place?
I didn't have an ideal person, but when I was creating, if you actually book the space and you will see some of the different things that's actually in it, I created it with people like you in mind. So like podcasters, people that have like their own business that they're trying to get out there. So like people that do pop-up shops, whether you have like an apparel brand or, jewelry and accessories, there's specifically a wall dedicated for apparel if you needed it to actually like merchandise and present it in a visual way. So people that do like workshops, classes, anything really. I feel like there's creativity in a lot of things, so I can't box creativity in. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Do you have any, let's see, like any photographic inspiration? Like photos, because I see a lot of photo frames around here.
So
But
a lot of the photo frames that you will see are going to be like empty, and that's just to inspire artists, so that they can potentially see their art in the space, whether they want to use it as a gallery, again, as a pop-up shop for their own art. That's exactly why some of the frames are empty, just so they can visualize their own art here. But the other frames is just more about inspiration and inspiring those that do book the space even further. So anything I feel like is inspiring art, I like to put in here. I like to keep it simple as well, so that the person booking it has more to actually play with. So, but anything that's inspiring.
I appreciate you for sharing this with us. I appreciate you for being transparent. For
Of
sure, for sure.
course.
Because it's important for people to know about the space. I want to say God led me to this space just paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And now that you actually mentioned, God leading to your space, I want to also shout out Taji. You did an episode with him as well, so go check that episode out as well. Yeah, he actually comes in one of the places that I work, and he didn't mention what was about to happen, but he mentioned that you were going to be reaching out to me. He didn't say why or what, but he didn't want to actually like give it away. But like once everything started happening, I was just like, so shout out to him.
Shout out to Taji. That's episode 2. 2 is his favorite number as well. So you need to watch Taji because that's an intelligent, bright mind. Follow him. Hutus. If you watch the episode, you'll get that
Yeah.
information. But that's my dog. That's been my dog for a minute. I say about 7 years now. That's been my dog. Yeah, because he had told me he had bumped into you, and he
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah, somebody seen the episode." She was like, "I just seen you on the podcast."
Yeah.
So then after that interaction, he came in and said what he said.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Taji, man. That's my dog, man. He always trying to look out.
Yeah. He's super cool. So.
Look out big time. Well, what I want you to do is tell people where they can find your book.
Well, it is actually linked in my bio on my Instagram page, which is sincerely period Sade. Sade spelled Sade. If you hit that link, it's literally right there. But you can also go on Amazon, which it is on, and just type in the self-discovery journaling workbook, and it should come up for you.
Get that book. I was looking through it. I'm actually sorry I didn't grab it before we started, just so I can read some of the things because it had some very interesting things in there, especially with self-reflection. Again, I identified with you as an artist because self-reflecting amongst myself, I felt like I faced imposter syndrome,
Mm-hmm.
like what I said off camera. And for those who don't know, if you paid attention over the last year, the conversations with Donnie and I when we were speaking, I've done quite a few things in my lifetime. And I don't want to say the imposter, but the little voice in the back, and I don't know if you got the same voice from talking, but the little voice in the back of my head, like, man, you always doing something new. Why you don't just stick to what you're doing?
Mm-hmm.
And again, it started with music. Then after the music, it was like making the beats. Well, that's still music, but then the clothing brand. Then from the clothing brand to doing the video, which is Dream Architects. This is a Dream Architects production. And then now this. And it's like, why are you always doing something new instead of just putting your all into it? But these opportunities come just by talking to people, sitting with people, having the idea and putting it into motion.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I did want to ask a few more questions, but I want to stay within your comfort level of sharing because I want to know what can we expect from you next? You know what I mean? But I can't put pressure on that person because I understand being a jack of all trades.
Well, it's crazy that you actually mentioned your apparel brand because me, again, having a fashion background, I also did a lot of like fashion show production and coordination. So I have a lot of experience just producing fashion shows, which we might be getting into this summer. So if you are a designer, have your own clothing brand, and you're ready to put yourself out there, connect with me because I've definitely been thinking about doing a fashion show. So I've been in contact with a couple of venues just to see, because I'm a strategic person, and again, a visual person. So I literally have the whole vision in my head, but the places, location, people, places, thing have to match that vision. So I'm just looking for places that actually match my vision because I want it to be different. I want to give Cleveland a different viewpoint on fashion and fashion shows. So that also again my second book that should be done by the end of the year for sure. And then hopefully, connecting with more people at the space and then us doing things. So, yeah.
I'm interested in this fashion show because you said the place has to match the people and the vision. You care to share a little bit about that vision? Like what you thinking? You looking for like Gotham City?
Ooh, actually, kind of. Kind of. It's like a from nothing to something type vibe. I don't want to say too much without giving it away. So, the vibe for the fashion show is like from nothing to something. So I'm definitely looking for brands or stylists that have a kind of like urban feel to it. But it can get also be like urban class because it's going to be like an elevation or evolution of. That's why it's from nothing to something. So depending on what that specific brand can actually present, then again my brain will formulate the order of which I feel like they fit or the show will actually go. So I have to see the brand first to see if it actually fits. But yes, I'm very gritty and get a sense of like where I wouldn't say we come from. I'm gonna just use myself like where I come from. So, yeah, from nothing to something.
So when she say gritty, that mean not having your logo that you promoting on your page real big on a jogging suit, cause that ain't gritty
Yes,
and it ain't athleisure.
I want it to be aesthetically pleasing. I want it to look like you really took time to think about your actual brand and the designs. And again, like guys, like my whole creative mind, that's everything I'm going to be looking at. Like the details is really, really important. So,
So
hey, if
stop
you
letting
fit, you
Hop
fit.
Sin putting your logo on a patch like that. Don't do that. Cause you see a lot of that around the city.
Yeah.
And like after customizing my very first collection, I learned that that's what that is. You got what you want, and then you say, "Hey, I just need this on this," and they give you what you want.
Yeah.
Well, they give you what they want to give you, what the easiest thing is to do, rather than like, no, this ain't that. I need this like this. And one thing I learned about making clothes is if you don't tell them to make functioning pockets, if you don't tell them inside pockets on jackets, it's not gonna be on there. To where you have to pick your zippers, to pick your buttons. So that's why a lot of people's stuff look the same,
Yeah.
just the logo slapped on the product.
We don't want that. And I'm not saying you have to be experienced or have had your brand for years, but it literally got to look like you thought about this and this is a whole collection. Because I'm also looking for people that can provide at least 6 to 8 looks. So, yep.
Get y'all designs ready for sure, because it's coming. Will this be outdoor or indoor?
It would be indoor.
Okay, just curious. Well, I hope you let us know when that comes. We will be here. We will be there.
And I will.
Is there anything else that you would like to share with the people with a creative mindset before we get up out of here?
No, I think we done touched on everything. You know about the book. Get the book. Get it and actually use it. Do the work. It's a workbook. No, like honestly, like I'll appreciate you getting the book to support me, but actually use it, please, because I feel like it not only helped me, and that's the reason why I put it out there, but I feel like it can also help other people. So, yeah, get the book. Come see the space. Send me a DM. Let's conversate and see what we can do.
And just to piggyback off that book, I've always been a person who keeps things in my head. And this year I became a writer to where I started writing things down. I tried it a couple times over the past few years. But this year I really became big on writing things down and just looking through the workbook, which I'm in the buying it to support.
Appreciate it.
But looking through it, it made me think of certain things that, I'm kind of thinking already myself.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an idea striker if you in a rut, even if you're not in a rut, but just want to organize your life better. Um, I think the workbook would be for you. I'm a big fan of self-help books. One of the first self-help books I read was The 50th Law by Robert Greene and
It's a
50
good one.
Cent. So like and I was in a bout of depression, but that workbook will strike some ideas. And even if you don't have no idea for it, it'll actually for sure make you start thinking about what are you living for and what do you appreciate about
Mm-hmm.
oneself
Absolutely.
and where you need to go.
Absolutely.
Thank you for sitting down.
I appreciate you having me because I was nervous. So,
I know.
you know,
I know.
I hope you guys learned a lot during this episode. I hope that I was able to, give you guys some inspiration, some bits of information. I just hope that I was useful to someone out there. So I appreciate it. Thank you
Appreciate
so
you as well.
much.
Creative Mindset, y'all. We like to thank Sade again, the owner and the host of A Sweet Place, new home of the Creative Mindset. And we out.